Manchester police officers have defended the way that they dealt with an ITV journalist who was found dead weeks after she'd reported allegations of domestic abuse. Teresa McMahon worked for Granada Reports, and an inquest today concluded that she took her own life at her flat in Salford. But the hearing was told that the force was aware of 3 other reports of domestic abuse linked to the man that she accused. Live to London to Phil McCann, who's been at the hearing. And Phil, you only got the conclusion of this inquest within the past hour or so.
Yeah, that's right, Roger. Teresa McMahon worked both in front of and behind the camera at Granada Reports, and today this inquest hearing here in London heard a statement from former Granada presenter Lucy Meacock and an ITV executive who said that arrangements have been put in place to put Teresa on a secondment here to London so she could escape what they described as a toxic, abusive relationship with a man called Robert Chalmers. Now, in the weeks before her death in August of 2021, Teresa had called the police to tell them that he had broken her fingers and ribs and, in her words, had generally battered me. Now, the police watchdogs already criticised the time that it took for Greater Manchester police officers to see Teresa over those allegations. She also made a request using what's known as Clare's Law to try to see if Mr Chalmers had an abusive past, but she was wrongly told by a Greater Manchester police officer that that request would be refused because they were no longer together, which is not a valid reason to refuse one of those requests. Well, today, senior police officers gave evidence here, and they talked about Mr Chalmers' past, and they said that police were in fact aware of 3 domestic abuse reports linked to him over an 11-year period. Not necessarily convictions, it should be pointed out. They could have been accusations or intelligence. Now, they said policies in relation to Clare's Law at GMP have since been changed. They also pointed out that Teresa did later withdraw her allegations. They said they weren't ruling out the possibility that there was domestic abuse in the relationship. The coroner ruled then today that Teresa died by suicide. She made no comment on the conduct of the police. And Teresa's aunt Lorna has been very critical of the police. She spoke outside the hearing.
Now I have to be looking at how we can possibly apply to have this inquest reopened, because I do not believe she's been fair. I don't believe Coroner Hassel has considered all the relevant evidence. And
you're also taking things further with the police as well?
Yes, I have a meeting in the new year at headquarters. They've now agreed to investigate my very serious allegations against senior police officers, which I made 3 years ago, but they were never looked at, for attempting to pervert the course of justice.
Phil, the inquest also heard today from Teresa McMahon's former partner himself.
Yeah, he's always denied wrongdoing. He hasn't been arrested over these allegations. He was asked today if he had ever hurt Teresa or controlled her. He said no. He was tearful when he described the moment when he found Teresa's body. There was also a statement read out from Teresa's father in which he said the relationship involved some pushing and shoving, but no violence. Well, in the last few minutes, there's been a statement from Greater Manchester Police which has said a comprehensive review into complaints over its handling has been carried out, and they also said they made 1,500 successful Clare's Law disclosures over the last year.
Phil, thank you very much. Phil McCann there reporting live for us in London tonight.